Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Tell us, I'm excited.
Hi.
What are you doing in the second season of this great show?
I play Assistant District Attorney Antonio Montez in the city of Bridgeton, Ohio, and he's in charge of the homicide division. So it's his job to prosecute or try to prosecute Brady Hartsfield, would be a lot easier if he was awake and not comatose. So there's a level of anxiety and a level of like, how do we wake this guy up? So I can, you know, use him as a springboard for a political career. So he's very ambitious, and his whole thing is use this guy, put on the trial of the century, and have political stardom.
That can't go well.
You think? It'd be a very short show if it did. It would be one nice one episode wrap up all together. It doesn't go well. It doesn't go well, and he treads into waters that are murky legally, and being that he's an officer of the court, it's his job to sort of like uphold the law. But because his ambition is so high, he's okay with bending the law if it helps him and his agenda. And he definitely has an agenda. His agenda is maybe congressman, maybe senator, maybe president. Like his whole thing is he has a singular vision, and he doesn't really let things get in the way. And he is an alpha. He's definitely like aggressive and and has an agenda, and he's willing to do whatever he needs to do to complete it.
But it seems like, at least in the first season, the characters, we always get like some of their backstory. So
Yeah.
are we going to get kind of the insight into why he's this way?
You get a little bit of why he's this way. What you also find out is like his father was also part of the legal system and didn't work closely with Hodges, but knew Hodges. So he kind of like uses that to get a read on Hodges. He thinks Hodges knows a little more than what he's saying about things that are starting to happen around town, and Hodges seems to turn up like a bad penny whenever something bad happens. So he's sort of like, there's more to this, and this guy just happened to show up here or that, So there's this sort of like, we do a kind of a dance with each other, and what do you know and what do I know, and then it's very contentious. It becomes very contentious, and then something happens. I won't tell you what it is, but something happens like kind of halfway through the season where it's an oh shit moment, and I think that's when he and Hodges bury the hatchet, not literally. It's a Stephen King thing, so it could be literally, but no, they kind of decide to bury the hatchet and kind of say, do we work together? Can we work together? But there's never that full trust. That thing doesn't happen because it's like when you have Babineau has an agenda. His agenda is to use science to wake up Brady and to ascend into stardom as the greatest like neuroscientist in the world. My agenda is to wake Brady Hartsfield up, put him on trial, and I ascend. And Hodges' agenda is this guy's got to die. This evil can't live. He's got to go away, and I'll do whatever I need to do. So we have three different agendas in it, but they all are connected to Brady Hartsfield.
Skeptical about the
Of course, he's a lawyer, so he lives in facts and reason. So for him, it's it's when it comes to like the sort of like supernatural stuff, he's like, that's crazy. Like it's crazy. These things don't happen. And then he starts learning that these things start happening, and he can't wrap his mind around it. But he's the one thing he does trust in is that he doesn't know everything, and he'll let his fear part of his mind take over and be like, I don't understand that, but I'm scared to hell. It scares the hell out of me, and so I'm just gonna go along and try to fix it. So he'll do whatever he needs to do to fix it, and starts getting pulled into it and believing that it happens. But yeah, he starts off very, very skeptical.
Now, for putting together your character, were there any attorneys that you looked at to like kind of adapt their demeanor?
You know what? Yes, not an attorney though. So my character is kind of fashioned in terms of like his brashness on Donald Trump. Yeah, so there's a level of sort of like saying the first thing that comes into your mind, whether people find it offensive or not. Yeah, or true. But in my case, it's like tapping into sort of like the populist, sort of like, you know, kill that fucking guy. That guy should just be fucking killed. Like, so I tap into that first irrational, quick thing that someone says. My character tends to do that. He then becomes a little more thoughtful. But he definitely taps into like I say and I do the things that people want to hear immediately. You know, the knee-jerk reaction. I'm that guy. So it was kind of like that flavor to him. I added that flavor to him. Like he was just like sort of like can go off the handle very easily. Talks very like, you know, kind of crazy sometimes. So yeah, it was basically you know. It was kind of that bit and kind of like the showmanship of like, you know, of Johnny Cochran, you know, like when he's in court, it's a smoother kind of thing, and like he's the guy who knows everything, and he treats it that way. So I think it was like a Trump and Johnny Cochran mashup. This is a terrible interview. let's just start over.
So, what's the most, when you watched, I'm assuming you watched season 1, what was the biggest thing that you got from season 1 that got you excited about season 2?
That they were willing to go there. I mean, season 1 was dark and twisted, and the stuff with Kelly Lynch and Harry was just like really like crazy. I know my agent watched it, and he was like, "You got to watch this damn show. It's crazy." And then I watched it and I was like, what the hell is this? And it was just, you know, it definitely went there. So it was nice to know, like, okay, if they're willing to do that, they're willing to go further. And that's pretty far. So they're willing to go further. So it's nice being part of a show where there isn't any fear. You know, and then like Stephen King, there's a scene, I'm not giving anything away, there's a scene that happens where it's pretty gory. And they showed a cut of it to Stephen King, and Stephen King was like, "Damn, can it be longer?" And they were like, "Well, you know, not censors. What's it called? The board of, I guess, censors." We're like, "Well, it can only be 45 seconds." He's like, "Oh yeah, cool. Can it just be 45 seconds then?" And they were like, "Well, it can't be 45 seconds straight." He's like, "Well, can you cut?" And they were like, "Yes, you know, we're gonna make sure." It was like, you know, so they're willing to go that far and show things that are just like kind of gruesome and odd and dark and weird, and it's nice to be a part of that, you know, like to see something like that, because I think honestly, like, there isn't, TV and media is just flooded with so much content, and this is it's like a true original. This show, it's kind of an oddball that it's a lot. It's a few different genres. It's a Stephen King detective novel. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, imagine if like someone, you know, pitched something like that along, you know, they'd be like, that will never be a television show. But now I think there's a lot more bravery and a lot more freedom creatively to do stuff. And and Stephen King is very happy with how it is. And yeah, I'm very excited. It's really good. Season 2 is going to be really good. There's a lot of shocking things that happen. I'm not going to tell you, but there's a lot of shocking things that happen. Something personal to me happens that's in particular that is one of those moments where I become less skeptical about things. Yeah, so yeah, it's a lot of. I'm excited. I hope you guys enjoy it. It should be good. Thank you.
He's a monster from a fairy tale that you would only tell children you hate.
There have been no changes on the EEG, no signs of mental activity.
If he was looking at me, he was conscious.
You're still ticking, still drawing breath.
His brain activity is spiking. It's not possible.
I am telling you, I saw consciousness.
he's awake.